So I've marked where the bottom of the hem needs to be once it's been altered. I've worked out how much I need to cut off. I'm cutting off just really the old hemline. Just use a straight edge and a rotary cutter, chop the bottom off, and then you can throw this bit away.
Just in the side seams there was a reinforced area just at the bottom where there was a small split, just to allow the seam to kind of go over your hips. So I've taken off some of the reinforcement cotton tape that was there. It looks a bit messy at the moment, but this won't matter because when it's folded up you won't see that at all from the outside. The reason I've done that is to make it easier when it goes through the Coverpro, because if you've got too much excess bulk here then the machine can struggle and you don't want that to
Okay, so the next thing
I've done that on both.
Is, because this is a jersey fabric top, I don't want it to stretch out when I'm working on it, otherwise your measurements might be a bit off. So I've put all of the weight of the actual top onto the ironing board so it's not pulling it off the other side. Folded up the hem and checked the measurements. So I've got a 3 centimetre turn up all the way, and I've ironed a crease in. So now when working from the other side it's going to behave itself. I know exactly where that seam's going to be, because when you're working on a Coverpro you won't be able to see this line. It's not like working on a normal sewing machine where you can actually have sight of this the whole time. You're going to be working blind, so you need to be completely accurate at this stage. So that's iron flat, and the next stage is to get it under the Coverpro.
So we're working blind. This is the outside, so the correct side of the garment facing up. I've got my tape as my hem guide, and the raw edge on the other side is in line with about this line here. So these 3 lines are your guides for the needles. You know where your needles are going to be going in back here. You can get different feet for this machine. They're really expensive, so it's why I haven't got one yet, but they do a clear foot, which is very handy. So when you come round to the bottom of a hem and you're going to be meeting up with these edges, you'll be able to see the stitches through this part here. But as I say, they're quite expensive, so I haven't bought one yet. So we're going to get going. I'll just do a little bit and then I will come back to you once I've gone around to the edge. And I've just met up with my start point. I've used my hand wheel to go slowly so that I can see that I'm meeting with them in here. That's the tricky bit about having a solid foot rather than a plastic foot. It's quite difficult to see. And then I'm just going to show you again how we release these threads and take the garment away
with
from
your
the
needles
machine.
At their highest position, make sure that they are right up high. You can use your hand wheel. Release the foot, bring the threads towards you using your long nose tweezers. Okay, just pull the garment out slightly. Trim, it's easier to trim them from behind, and then pull it backwards slightly, and then a sharp tug to the side. And what that does is it brings all your threads to the back. As you can see, all the threads are now at the back. I will trim those off, and I will put a tiny bit of fray stop on there, which is like a liquid glue, just a tiny bit to stop it unraveling. It shouldn't unravel because that's kind of locked it in place, that technique. But if you can't get it out of your machine in that way, then you will need some fray stop to stop all your stitches coming out. So there's the finished hem. The outside side seam is there, look, and you can't see any of those holes from at the beginning, and the raw edge on the inside is completely encased with the zigzags. And that's all done.